I spent most of my life chasing happiness, and only later did I learn peace comes when you stop chasing it all. I used to believe happiness was something you had to run after: a better job, a bigger house, a fuller calendar. Like many people my age, I worked hard for decades. I carried responsibility without complaint. I showed up early, stayed late, and told myself that staying busy meant I was doing life right. That's what we were taught, after all. Keep moving, keep achieving, don't slow down or you'll fall behind. But somewhere along the way, I noticed something strange. The busier I became, the quieter my heart felt, and not in a good way. I didn't collapse, I didn't burn out in some dramatic fashion. Life just grew heavy. Even on quiet evenings, my mind wouldn't rest. I'd sit in a comfortable chair in a home I worked years to afford and feel an emptiness I couldn't explain. Nothing was technically wrong, yet nothing felt right. That confusion followed me for years. Then, not long ago, I spent time observing elderly people in Japan. Not through books, not through documentaries, but in ordinary, everyday moments. Sitting on a bench outside a small shop, tending a tiny garden behind a modest home, drinking tea slowly as if time itself had softened. They weren't chasing happiness, yet they seemed deeply at peace. That stayed with me. I remember watching one older man sweep the front of his house. No rush, no headphones, no phone in his hand. Just slow, steady movement. The kind of movement that doesn't ask anything from the future. It exists fully in the present. In that moment, I realized how foreign that felt to me. Back home, we're trained to hurry, even when there's nowhere to go. We fill our days with noise, our calendars with obligations, our minds with worries that haven't happened yet. We're told rest must be earned, that slowing down is something you do only after everything is done. But everything is never done. As I watched those elders, I began to understand something simple, yet profound. Peace isn't found at the finish line. It's found in how you walk the road. A peaceful life doesn't come from staying young. It comes from learning how to age with grace. Grace isn't about pretending everything is fine. It's about accepting where you are without resentment. It's about letting go of the need to prove yourself, especially when you've already lived a full life. For those of us in our 40s, 50s, 60s, or beyond, this stage can feel confusing. The world keeps speeding up, but our hearts are asking for something slower. We're surrounded by messages that celebrate youth, productivity, and constant growth. Yet inside, many of us are longing for stillness, meaning, and quiet mornings. I want to tell you something I wish someone had told me sooner. You are not falling behind. You are being invited inward. There is wisdom in slowing down. There is strength in choosing less. And there is deep dignity in living simply. I started small. I stopped multitasking during meals. I took walks without tracking steps. I let silence fill the room instead of reaching for background noise. At first, it felt uncomfortable, like I was doing something wrong. But slowly, something shifted. My thoughts softened. My breathing deepened. The day stopped feeling like a race. Happiness, I learned, isn't loud. It doesn't demand attention. It often arrives quietly, disguised as an ordinary moment you almost overlook. A warm cup of coffee, sunlight through a window, a calm evening with nowhere to be. Many of us spent decades taking care of others, building families, supporting careers, carrying expectations. there comes a time when life gently asks us a different question. Can you care for yourself now? Not by doing more, but by needing less. If you're retired, overwhelmed, or simply tired in ways you can't explain, know this: nothing is wrong with you. Your soul may just be asking for a pace that honors the years you've lived. You don't need to reinvent your life. You don't need to escape to the mountains. You don't need to become someone new. Sometimes peace comes from remembering who you already are, before the rush, before the noise, before the pressure to always keep up. The elders I observed didn't have perfect lives. They had loss, they had illness, they had memories both heavy and beautiful. But they had learned something we often forget. Time is not an enemy, it's a companion. When we stop fighting time, life feels kinder. So if this moment spoke to you, if something here felt familiar, take that as a gentle sign. Take a breath, let your shoulders drop.
Just myself, just taking
Allow
some stock
yourself to slow down just a little. You don't need to hurry anymore. This chapter of life is not about chasing happiness. It's about allowing peace to find you. Japanese elders don't ask, "How can I be happier?" They ask, "How can I live in harmony with what already is?" That question stayed with me the first time I heard it. Not because it sounded wise or poetic, but because it felt honest. At this stage of life, honesty matters more than motivation. I'm a man who has lived long enough to know that chasing happiness can be exhausting. Somewhere along the way, many of us were taught that if we just worked harder, stayed younger, or moved faster, peace would eventually catch up. It rarely does. In Japan, aging isn't treated like a problem to fix. It's seen as a season, a quieter one, a season for less noise, less proving, and more presence. That idea felt unfamiliar to me at first. I grew up believing that slowing down meant falling behind, but life has a way of teaching lessons when we're finally ready to listen. There was a time when my days were packed and my mind never rested. Even after achievements I once dreamed of, something still felt unsettled. Retirement didn't magically bring peace, neither did success. The world kept moving fast, and somehow I felt pressured to keep up, upgrading, improving, comparing. It took years to realize that the pressure wasn't coming from life itself. It was coming from the way I was relating to it. In Zen philosophy, peace isn't something you achieve, it's something you uncover once you stop running. That idea sounds simple, but it's not easy. Stopping means facing the quiet. It means sitting with thoughts we've been avoiding, but it also means rediscovering what we lost along the way. Aging gracefully, in this sense, isn't about pretending we're still young. It's about letting go of the constant need to prove ourselves. You wake up slower. You speak less but mean more. You begin to notice the small things again: morning light through a window, the weight of a warm cup in your hands, the comfort of silence without the need to fill it. I remember one ordinary afternoon, sitting alone at home, nothing planned, no deadlines, no urgency. At first, it felt uncomfortable, almost wrong, but then something softened. I realized I didn't need to be anywhere else. Life wasn't asking me to hurry, it was inviting me to be present. Many people in their 40s, 50s, 60s, and beyond feel this quiet fatigue, not just in the body, but in the spirit. It's the tiredness that comes from years of noise, screens, expectations, and constant motion. If that sounds familiar, I want you to know you're not alone, and more importantly, nothing is broken. Japanese elders understand something many of us are still learning. Harmony comes from acceptance, not resistance. They don't fight aging, they walk alongside it. Wrinkles become maps of experience, slower steps become intentional steps. There's dignity in that kind of living. This doesn't mean giving up or withdrawing from the world. It means choosing where your energy goes. It means fewer distractions and deeper moments. A peaceful life is built by simplifying not just your home, but your mind, decluttering expectations, letting go of comparisons that no longer serve you. You begin to ask different questions, not what's next, but what's enough. Not how do I stay relevant, but how do I stay true? Those questions lead to a different kind of success, one measured in calm mornings, honest conversations, and evenings that don't feel rushed. As a man who has spent years learning this the hard way, my advice is simple. Slow down before life forces you to. Listen to your own pace. Allow yourself to age without apology. There is wisdom in this stage of life that younger years simply can't offer. If you're retired, stressed, or quietly searching for peace, consider this. Maybe the goal isn't to add more to your life. Maybe it's to uncover what's already there. Harmony, stillness, enough. You don't need all the answers. You don't need to fix everything. Sometimes the most meaningful change begins when you stop running and let life meet you where you are. If this moment spoke to you, take a breath and let yourself slow down just a little. If you're in your 50s, 60s, or beyond, and you feel tired of chasing a version of happiness that never stays, there is nothing wrong with you. You are not falling behind. You are arriving. Peace doesn't come from adding more to your life. It comes from gently setting things down. I'm speaking to you not as an expert, not as a teacher, but as a man who has lived long enough to understand a few quiet truths. I've spent decades trying to keep up with work, with expectations, with the idea that life should always be moving forward, faster, brighter, bigger. Like many of us, I believed that staying busy meant staying valuable, that if I slowed down, I might be left behind. But life has a way of teaching lessons we didn't know we needed. There was a season in my life when everything looked fine from the outside. The bills were paid, the responsibilities were handled, people depended on me, and I showed up. Yet inside, something felt worn down. Not broken, just tired. The kind of tired that sleep doesn't fix. The kind that settles quietly in your chest and makes even good days feel heavy. No one prepares you for that feeling, especially not men. We're taught to push through, to stay strong, to keep going. We tell ourselves this is just how life is now. And for years, maybe decades, we accept that story. Until one day, something small changes. For me, it wasn't a crisis. It was a quiet morning. I was sitting alone, holding a cup of coffee that had gone cold. The house was still, no emails, no noise, just light moving slowly across the floor. And for the first time in a while, I noticed how tense my body had been, how my shoulders were always tight, how my mind was always somewhere else. In that moment, I realized I had been rushing through a life that no longer needed to be rushed. Somewhere along the way, we confuse movement with meaning. We keep adding things, more goals, more plans, more distractions, hoping that peace will eventually catch up. But peace doesn't chase us. It waits, quietly, patiently, until we're willing to slow down enough to notice it. As we grow older, something shifts. The excitement of what's next begins to lose its shine. Achievements matter less, noise feels louder, and the things that once motivated us no longer bring the same satisfaction. That's not failure, that's wisdom knocking. A peaceful life doesn't come from staying young. It comes from learning how to age with grace. Grace means allowing yourself to rest without guilt. It means choosing simplicity over excess. It means understanding that your worth is no longer measured by productivity or applause. You've already proven yourself. You've lived. You've contributed. You don't need to keep earning your place. Many people reach retirement or later stages of life expecting relief, only to feel more restless than ever. Without constant tasks or schedules, the mind doesn't know where to settle, so it keeps running, replaying the past, worrying about the future, wondering if something important was missed. If that sounds familiar, let me offer you this reassurance. You haven't missed your life. You're finally standing still enough to feel it. Peace often arrives disguised as boredom, silence, or emptiness. But if you stay with it, if you don't rush to fill it, you'll discover something gentle underneath, a sense of being enough, of having done enough, of not needing to prove anything anymore. A calm life isn't built by doing more, it's built by letting go of what no longer serves you. This might mean fewer obligations, fewer opinions, fewer voices telling you who you should be at this age. It might mean smaller days, slower mornings, quieter evenings. And yes, at first, that can feel uncomfortable. We're not used to stillness, we're used to noise. But stillness is where clarity lives. I've learned that happiness in later life isn't loud. It doesn't announce itself. It shows up quietly, in a walk without a destination, in a simple meal, in a conversation that doesn't need to impress. It shows up when we stop trying to control time and start respecting it. So tonight or tomorrow morning, try this. Do one thing slowly. Drink your coffee without distraction. Sit in silence for a few minutes. Take a walk and notice the world instead of your thoughts. Let time pass without filling it. You don't need to hurry anymore. Life isn't asking you to run, it's inviting you to arrive. If this moment spoke to you, take a breath and let yourself slow down just a little.
Japanese elders remind us of something easy to forget. You don't need to chase happiness to live well. You only need to be fully where you are. A quiet life is not an empty life. It is a life with room to breathe. I didn't understand this when I was younger. Back then, I believed life was something you ran toward. Success, security, meaning, happiness, always somewhere ahead of you. I'm a man who worked hard for decades, raised a family, paid the bills, did what was expected. From the outside, my life looked full. From the inside, I often felt like I was running out of air. No one really tells you how loud modern life becomes over time. The constant news, the screens, the pressure to stay useful, productive, relevant, even after you've already given so much. Somewhere along the way, many of us forgot how to simply sit with ourselves without feeling guilty. I noticed it one evening after dinner. The house was quiet, no phone ringing, no one asking for anything. And instead of peace, I felt uneasy. I didn't know how to rest anymore. That's when it hit me. I had spent years filling every space in my life so I wouldn't have to listen to the silence. Years later, I traveled to Japan. Nothing fancy, just small towns, quiet streets, elderly people moving slowly through their days. I watched an older man sweep the front of his shop, not rushing, not distracted. An older woman tending her plants like it was the most important thing in the world. No urgency, no performance, just presence. That's when I understood something deeply human. Happiness wasn't something they were chasing, it was something they were allowing. Japanese elders don't talk much about finding yourself. They talk about living in harmony with time, about accepting age instead of fighting it, about doing fewer things but doing them fully. They understand that a peaceful life doesn't come from staying young, it comes from aging with grace. Back home, I began to change small things. I stopped rushing my mornings. I drank my coffee without scrolling. I walked without a destination. At first, it felt uncomfortable, like I was doing something wrong, but slowly something softened inside me. I realized how much of my stress came from trying to control what couldn't be controlled: time, aging, other people's expectations. Peace arrived not when my problems disappeared, but when I stopped arguing with life as it was. If you're in your 40s, 50s, 60s, or beyond, and you feel tired in a way rest doesn't fix, I want you to hear this clearly. There is nothing wrong with you. The world has simply been asking too much for too long. We were taught that slowing down meant giving up, that quiet meant loneliness, that aging meant decline. But the truth is quieter than that. A calm life is not a small life. It's a life with fewer distractions and deeper moments. You don't need to prove your worth anymore. You don't need to keep chasing the next version of yourself. You've already lived enough to know what matters: connection, simplicity, honesty, peace of mind. One of the most powerful lessons I learned from Japanese elders is this: when you stop filling every moment, life fills you instead. The sound of the wind, the warmth of sunlight through a window, a conversation that doesn't need to go anywhere. This stage of life isn't about becoming more, it's about becoming lighter. So if you're listening to this right now, feeling overwhelmed by the speed of the world, let me offer you a gentle reminder. You are allowed to live quietly. You are allowed to move slowly. You are allowed to let today be enough. Take a breath. Stay where you are. There is peace here if you make room for it.
Happy New Year 2026. Before anything else, I wish you good health, not just in the body, but in the heart and the quiet places of the mind. If this message spoke to you, you're not alone. I'm speaking to you as a man who has lived long enough to understand that life doesn't get lighter by itself. Over the years, we carry many things: responsibilities, expectations, memories, regrets, pride, and sometimes silent exhaustion. No one really prepares us for how heavy that can feel, especially in a world that never seems to slow down. There was a time when I thought peace would come later, after the kids were grown, after retirement, after I finally had time. But when those moments arrived, I realized something honest and humbling. The noise didn't disappear. It simply moved inside my head. One quiet evening, sitting alone with nothing demanding my attention, I finally understood. Peace isn't something you earn by surviving life. It's something you allow by letting go of the need to rush, prove, or keep up. A meaningful life at this stage isn't about doing more. It's about doing less with intention. Fewer distractions, fewer comparisons, more presence, more moments where you simply breathe and allow today to be enough. If you're in your 40s, 50s, 60s, or beyond, feeling tired in a way that rest doesn't fix, I want you to hear this clearly. There is nothing wrong with you. You are not falling behind. You are arriving. Here at Simple Earth Studio, we share stories for those who have lived, carried weight, and are ready for something gentler. Take a breath, stay a while, and remember, peace was never far from you.